Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back. We are going to finish off the week here with a season in review for Justin Peck. Before we get into the numbers for Justin Peck, we need to discuss the four-leg parlay that I hit last night during the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Tampa Bay Lightning game. $5 paid $1,800, and that was the best birthday present of all time. Brandon Hagel, Anthony Cirelli, come on, Dmitry Voronkov, Kent Johnson, those guys all on that parlay. They were able to score goals, and now we are looking good going into Christmas. Got a little extra money to spend on more than likely my girlfriend. But here we go. Let's get into the stuff here for Justin Peck. He had a pretty solid year here with High Limit Racing, considering changing rides around, all the drama going around along with that. He was still able to perform at a pretty high level. 51 starts this year with High Limit Racing for Peck. He was able to get that one win coming at Eldora Speedway. 15 top 5 finishes, 30 top 10s, and he did lead 53 laps of main event action this year. Championship standings, he would end up 7th overall in the championship, and there towards the end, I would say with about 4 races left, he was in the hunt for a charter spot. Him, Corey Day, and Brent Marks were separated by, I think it was less than 40 points at one point in time from 5th to 6th, or from 5th to 7th, I should say, and Peck was right in the thick of things. The midweek standings for him, he would end up 6th with that as well. So the overall money earned with just High Limit this year, in race earnings, he got $149,854, $55,000 for the 7th place run in the championship standings, and another $7,500 coming in from the midweek money series standings. So some quick math there, basically 150 plus 55, so there's 205,000 plus another 7,500. So over 210 grand just with High Limit this year. So not bad at all for 7th place in points for Justin Peck. He was 126 points ahead of the 5 car that was driven by Spencer Baston. He was 34 points behind at the end of the season from Corey Day in the 6th position, which means that Corey Day will be the next driver that we do a season in review for. He had to use 2 out of his allotted 6 provisionals on the year, so really did not have too many issues when it came to making it through the B main, making it through the heat race. Justin Peck did not have any problems when it came to that, only twice throughout the entire season. He only had 3 DNFs as well this year, so pretty good in the DNF category. One of them was a tough night at Lernerville. I remember he got upside down. I think it was upside down at Lernerville, got upside down at Hanford. So there was 2 right there that I could come up at the top of my head, and then obviously had 1 more along the way as well. His best finish, as we mentioned, he was able to get a win at Eldora, but he did lead 4 other races. He led 3 other races. So he led at Eldora, and then he led 3 other times throughout the year. So he was very close to making that 4 wins on the season, just could not quite close the deal on those other occasions. This year, with SprintCarRatings.com, he was 17th overall in the nation, according to their formula, so pretty good number there, considering that last year he was 20th on their ranking system. So he actually moved up 3 positions overall with SprintCarRatings.com this year, and so I expect to see him go up even higher next year, especially with the speed he's already shown in that Routine Racing 26 car. My prediction for him at the beginning of the year, I had him for 3 to 5 wins, and I had him somewhere 4th to 5th in the point standings. And if I remember correctly, I did Peck relatively early on in that prediction, and more good drivers started joining the series after I made that video. So if I would have waited till all the drivers were announced, I probably would have had Peck slid back a little bit. But we got to go with what we have. 4th to 5th, he was 7th. And then 3 to 5 wins, he had 1, but he led 4 races. So, I guess I wasn't too far off with that one. Best stretch of races for Peck came right there at the end of the season. Races 44 to 49. He was able to get that win at Eldora, and then he was in the top 10 for all of those races to finish out the season. His worst stretch, he really didn't have that bad of a stretch. And that's going to be kind of a thing to talk about here with the rest of these season in reviews. These guys aren't going to have a ton of bad, stretches of races. But for Peck, I had him as race number 1 through 13. He had 8 finishes in those 13 races outside of the top 10. The other ones, he was all inside the top 10, including a couple of podiums at Golden Isles and some other places as well. So Justin Peck really did not have too many bad moments throughout the year, but that's the best I can come up with there for that stat category. Now we'll switch things up, and we will look at Justin Peck's stats as compared to the rest of the drivers that raced this year with High Limit Racing. As you all know, more than likely, there were 16 full-timers this year, and so these are the numbers compared to all those guys. His average finish was a 9.6, which is actually 6th overall. So he was better. I believe he was actually a better average finish than Brent Marks. But he actually finished behind Brent Marks in points, which is kind of a rare thing when it comes to the average finish compared to where they finished at in the points. Average start was a 10.7, which is 7th overall. Average qualifying, it was a 7.1. He was tied with one other driver there in that category. For the dash appearances, he had 21 dashes out of a possible 43. That is 5th best with the series. He only had one dash win, which was tied with 3 drivers for 8th overall. He had 2 hard chargers. That was tied with 6 drivers for 6th overall. So 6 guys this year had 2 hard chargers. Justin Peck was one of them. And then he had 4 quick times, which was tied for 5th with 5 drivers. So he was tied with 6 guys and he was tied with 5 guys on both of those stat categories there. 5 guys, burger and fries, not a fan. B main appearances, 5 for him. He was 4th best with the series. He had the fourth least amount of B mains this year. Justin Peck did with only 5, so that's a pretty good number right there. His average redraw wheel, he got absolutely shafted on the wheel and in the pill draw table this year. His average redraw, when he was there in 21 dash appearances, he drew a 20. His average was a 20, which was tied with Brent Marks for actually the worst with the series this year. So definitely not lucky on the redraw wheel, which is not good for Peck because he likes to gamble a lot. So that might actually cost him some money if he cannot get his luck turned around. Heat wins, he had 8 of those, which was 8th best with the series. Top 5 efficiency, 15 out of 9, meaning he started in the top 5 15 times. He actually finished in the top 5 9 times. That is 60% of the time he was doing that. 8th best with the series. And he was also 8th best in top 10 efficiency. 27 top 10 finishes, 27 top 10 starts, 21 top 10 finishes. That is 77% of the time he was able to finish inside the top 10 when he started there. His plus minus was a plus 56, meaning throughout all 51 races, he actually passed 56 cars in the main events. That is 6th best with the series. And then races where he actually finished ahead of where he started at, races with a positive plus minus, 28 times this year he finished ahead of where he started, which is 9th best. That's actually not very good comparatively speaking to the rest of the guys that are in front of him. So Peck, not very good. I mean, he was good. I mean, 28 times out of 51 starts, that's more than half, but compared to the drivers ahead of him, 9th, not exactly the best. His average finish from the first half to the second half really did not change that much. He was consistent all the way through. First 24 races of the year, he has a 9.9 average finish. And in the second half of the year, with the last 25 races, he was a 9.4. So gaining half a position throughout the second half of the season. So pretty Eddie, what's it called? Steady Eddie, they say. Whatever you want to call it there. So he was pretty good there from the first half to the second half. And then, as I mentioned, his average pill draw was, it's so bad. It was the worst. He was the worst with, I think it was Rico. Him and Rico were tied with 34 on the pill draw table. That's tied for 15th. So he was actually tied for the worst redraw and the worst pill draw. That is absolutely terrible. He's going to need to turn that around. And I'm certain if he does do that, that'll help all of these numbers greatly increase. The qualifying, if he gets a better pill draw, his average finish, if he gets a better redraw. Come on, guys. Come on, Justin. Start to get some, a lucky rabbit's foot, a black cat, all that stuff. Get some stuff to change the luck around because it is not working whatever he is doing right now. Now, the final thing with these reviews, these season in reviews, we hear from the community here. And on that community tab that we put up, 398 votes. And the votes were pretty good. They really liked the season that Justin Peck had in 2024. And for an A grade, 6% of the people gave him an A. B, 69%. Nice. C was 24%. And D to F, people just don't like Justin Peck. 1% of people gave him a D to F grade. I'm starting to think that YouTube, if nobody votes in a category, it just automatically gives it 1%. Because I was looking at the Corey Day one. that people are voting on right now, and there's like, I think C and D to F have 1%. So I think people either really just don't like him, or YouTube is just kind of filling in that spot just to give it a 1% of the time. So I would have to agree with the community tab. I think B is the correct grade. If he got 2 or 3 more wins, I think an A grade would have certainly been in play for me at least, but quite a few people, 6%, gave him an A anyways. His future plans, we already know what's going on there. He's going to be running the Radine Racing 26 next year with Highlander Racing. Now, a couple of comments on that community tab from some fans here. Jim Bob Inman, I thought Justin Peck had a very solid season, but if my memory serves me right, he seems to have a lot of bad luck. I truly believed he would win at least 3 races. Well, Jim Bob, we just saw the pillar on the redraw wheel. That right there shows you that he does have some bad luck. We'll read 2 more here. I didn't even read these before we came on the camera here. Tyler Cool Guy 88 gave him a B-. He was very good on half-mile tracks. I think he would have had more wins with top 5 if he didn't have bad luck that came over from 2023, as well as several wrecks. And then let's look at this one. Dylan Baldwin, the guy that made our logo here on the channel. Only thing taking away from an A for me, it's his amount of wins. He was really fast for majority of the year, but the stars never aligned for a win. Glad his 1 win did come in Eldora. I bet that made up for the lack of wins a little bit. I will certainly agree with that there, Dylan, as well as, who else did I talk about? Tyler Cool Guy and Jim Bob Inman. I think a B was definitely the grade there for Justin Peck. So let me know what you guys think about Justin Peck's year. What do you think he's going to do next year? I want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. And hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and we'll talk to you guys again here soon.